Hurricanes, nature's most powerful storms. The winds roar, the waves crash, and entire landscapes are reshaped in a matter of hours. But beyond the destruction and devastation, the true impact of hurricanes is felt by the people whose lives are turned upside down. Today, we'll explore how hurricanes have shaped the human experience over time, from past disasters to the most recent storms, and how, through all the chaos, people find the strength to rebuild and move forward. Every hurricane begins with warm ocean water and a disturbance in the atmosphere. But what happens next is often unpredictable and can be catastrophic. Let's start by looking at one of the deadliest hurricanes in modern history, Hurricane Katrina. In August 2005, Hurricane Katrina slammed into the Gulf Coast of the United States. It was one of the most intense hurricanes ever recorded, peaking at Category 5 before making landfall as a Category 3. But it wasn't just the wind that caused destruction. It was the storm surge and the levees that failed in New Orleans. Entire neighborhoods were submerged and over 1,800 lives were lost. Many residents had to flee, leaving behind homes and memories. The city's lower Ninth Ward was particularly devastated. Houses were ripped off their foundations, and survivors were stranded without basic necessities for days. The destruction was so massive that even today, nearly 2 decades later, the scars of Katrina can still be seen. But Katrina's aftermath also revealed something remarkable: resilience. Despite the overwhelming loss, people came together. Communities helped one another. Volunteers from across the country arrived to rebuild, and the people of New Orleans showed an unbreakable will to rise again. Now, fast forward to 2017, just 12 years after Katrina, another hurricane would leave a profound impact, this time in Puerto Rico. Hurricane Maria hit the island as a Category 5 storm, causing the largest blackout in U.S. history. For months, millions of people were left without electricity, clean water, or access to medical care. Maria claimed nearly 3,000 lives and caused billions of dollars in damage. But the true cost was felt in the months that followed. Families were separated, and the elderly and vulnerable struggled to survive in the intense heat without power. Hospitals ran out of supplies, and the lack of access to basic resources became a humanitarian crisis. But even in the face of such despair, the people of Puerto Rico showed incredible resilience. Neighbors banded together, communities found ways to rebuild despite limited resources, and the island has slowly begun to recover. Today, Puerto Rico still faces challenges, but the spirit of its people remains strong. Let's now move across the Atlantic to the Bahamas. In 2019, Hurricane Dorian became one of the most powerful hurricanes ever recorded in the Atlantic. Dorian hovered over the Bahamas as a Category 5 hurricane, with winds reaching over 185 miles per hour. The storm lasted for days, leaving entire islands in ruins. The island of Grand Bahama was one of the hardest-hit areas. Homes were flattened, entire communities disappeared, and thousands of people were left without shelter or basic needs. But what's truly inspiring is how the people of the Bahamas responded. In the days following the storm, they began rebuilding, determined to restore what was lost. The impact of hurricanes isn't just felt in the moment of destruction. The emotional and psychological toll lasts long after the winds have died down. People who survive hurricanes often deal with post-traumatic stress, anxiety, and the loss of a sense of security. But time and again, we see communities rise, united by their shared experience and a determination to rebuild. And while these hurricanes stand out as some of the worst in recent memory, they are not isolated events. Storms like Hurricane Harvey in Texas, which flooded the city of Houston in 2017, and Typhoon Haiyan in the Philippines, which killed more than 6,000 people in 2013, are reminders of the constant threat posed by these natural disasters. Each storm leaves behind stories of loss, but also stories of resilience. After Typhoon Haiyan, for example, the Filipino people showed incredible strength in the face of disaster. Despite the overwhelming destruction, communities came together, rebuilding homes, schools, and lives. Relief efforts poured in from across the globe, and the country slowly recovered, showing the world what unity and hope can achieve. Now, let's take a moment to consider the growing role of climate change in these storms. Warmer ocean temperatures are fueling more intense hurricanes, and with rising sea levels, coastal communities are at an even greater risk. Scientists warn that the frequency and severity of these storms will continue to increase in the coming years, making the need for preparation and resilience more important than ever. But amidst all the destruction, hurricanes also remind us of something powerful: the strength of the human spirit. Whether it's in New Orleans, Puerto Rico, the Bahamas, or the Philippines, we see time and again that no matter how fierce the storm, people find a way to rebuild. Communities come together, offering hope and support in the aftermath of disaster. So what can we learn from these storms? Hurricanes may bring destruction, but they also bring out the best in humanity. They remind us of the importance of community, of standing together in the face of adversity, and of the incredible power of resilience. And as we look to the future, we must also look to each other for strength, knowing that no matter how strong the winds blow, together we can weather any storm. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the impact of hurricanes on human life. If you found this story inspiring, please like, subscribe, and share to help raise awareness about the importance of resilience and preparation in the face of future storms.